Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. Today we will discuss about the shell, what it is, and why should we have to be familiar with it. So, without any delay, let's move into introduction of shell. According to definition, the shell is an incredibly powerful tool. It takes the commands you type and communicates directly with the operating system to carry them out. If you've ever used a graphical interface like Windows, Mac OS, or a Linux desktop, you've probably seen applications such as Terminal or Console. These programs aren't doing anything magical. They simply open a session where you can interact with the shell. In this course, we'll take a deeper look at how the shell works, why it's so important, and explore a wide range of Linux commands that will help you truly understand and control your system. Bash. Born Again Shell, short for Bash, it's a main command line shell that comes by default on most Linux systems, so it's one of the most important tools to understand when working with Linux. A shell is basically a program that lets you type commands and control the computer. There are other shells available, like KSH, ZSH, and TCSH, but learning Bash first gives you a strong foundation. Once you know Bash, you can easily move to any other shell and feel comfortable using almost any Linux environment. When you open a terminal, you'll be greeted by the shell prompt. Its appearance can vary between distributions, but it typically follows this format, in which first your username, then your host name, after that your current directory in which you are currently present. At last, there a dollar symbol, which indicates that the shell is ready to accept commands from a regular user. You do not type this symbol when entering commands. It is purely informational. As you see in the example below, first the username, which is Pete, then hostname Icebox. After that, his current working directory, /home/Pete, in which they currently in. At last, the dollar symbol. It's a basic shell prompt structure looks like. We'll see actual shell in a while and practice some basic commands on it. Now let's understand what Linux file system hierarchical structure is. The entire file system starts from a single top-level directory called the root directory, represented by a /. From the root, the directory tree in Linux branches out into various subdirectories, which can contain files and further subdirectories. In hierarchy diagram, you can see how the structure is and how the branches of files and directories divided further into subdirectories and files. First, root directory, which represents by /, after subdirectories like bin, boot, home, root, etc. Then it's further divided, and it's going on. When navigating the file system, it's essential to know your current location. The command for this is pwd. The full form of pwd in Linux is print working directory. Its sole purpose is to display the full path of the directory you are currently in, starting from the root. Now let's see practically how to use pwd command. Though pwd command is very basic and useful command, just type pwd will print your current location where you currently in. It's also called as absolute path. We'll come later on this. As you can see, when we move into desktop folder and get our location now, our absolute path will be /home/sam/desktop. This is how pwd command works. Don't learn by watching, also practice these commands. Because memorizing Linux commands is not feasible. There are thousands of commands. Let's understand types of paths in Linux. There are two types of paths in Linux, absolute path and relative path. In absolute path, the full path starting from the root directory / the root is the top-level directory in the file system. Any path that begins with / is an absolute path. For example, /home/Pete desktop. In relative path, this path is relative to your current location in the file system. If you are in home Pete /documents and want to access a subdirectory named taxes, you don't need the full path. You can simply use the relative path taxes/ and you get in there. Once you understand paths, you can use the cd command to change your current directory. Whether you're in a Linux terminal or a Windows command prompt, the concept of changing directories is universal, though the syntax may differ slightly. To change to a specific directory using an absolute path, you would type cd home/sam, this is your username, /pictures. This command moves you directly to the pictures directory. If you are already in a directory and want to move to a subdirectory, you can use a relative path. For instance, if your current location is /home/sam/pictures and it contains a folder named Hawaii, you can navigate into it with CD Hawaii. Notice we only use the folder's name. This is because we were already in its parent directory, /home/pictures. Navigating with full paths can be tedious. Fortunately, the shell provides several shortcuts to make moving around much faster. Dot represents current directory in which you are currently in. Double dot represents parent directory, moves you one level up to the directory containing your current one. Tilde represents the home directory like /home/Pete. A hyphen represents the last directory you were in. Now let's see all this in action, how we can use these. First, let's list all directories by ls. Now we'll use our first navigation shortcut, which is single dot. It represents current directory. You've seen no change happen because it's on current directory. Second shortcut is double dot, which represents parent directory. First, let's move into desktop directory. Then we do CD double dot. As you can see, we come backward one directory from desktop directory to our home. Now the next shortcut is tilde. Tilde represents our home directory. When we do CD tilde, we will move into our home directory. You can check this by using pwd command. Now our last and interesting navigation shortcut is hyphen or minus sign. For this demonstration, we have to create a temp directory in desktop directory, then move into that directory. Now when we do CD hyphen, it will look like CD double dot working. But the catch is, when we again do CD hyphen, it will again take you to the temp directory because its working is to take user in previous directory where they were in. Now let's summarize what we have learned and practiced. First, we have seen what is bash and shell, types of shells like KSH, ZSH, etc. Then structure of shell prompt. Third, hierarchical structure of Linux file system. Fourth, pwd command usage and practical. Fifth, seen types of paths in Linux, absolute path and relative path. 6 essential navigation shortcuts for navigating in Linux. So that's all for this video. We have covered some basic concepts of Linux and some commands. We will explore more commands later. If you like this video, then please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so you don't miss any notification from DarkNode. Leave any feedback or suggestion in comment section. Till then, keep learning.